Yes, so hopefully now we've got to a place where the new website is certainly in a way, in a position for you to look at and test. Um, and hopefully we've spent quite a lot of time getting all the little bugs out. I'm sure there are more, but hopefully most of it is now working as we planned. So I thought to start with, I'll just start sort of walking through the new website and the structure of it. And welcome any comments and feedback, and interrupt where you think's relevant, and we could talk over the various points. And I wouldn't see this as 100% there. I think so. So what I'll do is to show you the site, walk through it. So please, if you any comments, please just stop me, and we'll deal with them at the time. Okay, so hopefully you should see the new website. It is now sort of fully width dependent, and so if you've got a widescreen, it gives you the option to show things, and it will. If you've got a less than widescreen, then it will squeeze everything in. And if you've got a phone, then it will change the structure of the site, so that where if it's width that way, it will try and show as many of the blocks it can side by side, or it will show the 3 blocks side by side. If it gets narrow, like a phone, then it will show one beneath the other, so that you work your way down through the phone. So, first thing to say is that to use the website, always use your own domain name. You'll find that when you go across into the site, the URL at the top will have a format dot in front of it. Don't ever enter the system with the format dot. It will confuse it. Always go in at whatever you are, whatever your domain name is, .org.uk. The system is meant to, and hopefully will, transfer you between the two admin site and the member site, and hopefully put you in the right place. So, yes.
When I go in on our test system, I get a banner at the top with the options on, but the rest of the screen is blank. Is that because of something we haven't done in our test system, or is it something that's a bug?
This is when you go into your, you just log into the home, or just log into the.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't even log in. You just go Scarborough.
ScarboroughU3A.co.uk. Yeah.
Ah, okay. /test system /
yes, whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
It just says home or members home, because you've not built the home page, I believe.
But before the new system came on, we had a home page. That was why I was just a query as to whether it was something we needed to do or whether it was a bug.
Did you have a home page? It's Tony saying, did you have a home page set up for the mobile site?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I think she's on for the mobile test system. Yes. I did notice that when it came back to it appeared. The main home page appeared, but then later on it went to the mobile site.
Yeah. Okay. What I'll do is I'll have a look.
You log into it later. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'll have a look and I'll come back to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So as I say, the system will move between the sites. The idea is that if anybody who comes into your normal entry place to the website and doesn't have any authority level or is not logged in initially, it will take them to the new site. So even if you have an authority level but haven't logged in before, then on the new site, then it will take you there first. Then
Chris, I've got a question there, Chris. let's say we transfer over to the new site once we go live and it's on the live site. One of the members goes to peterboroughU3A.org.co.uk, and the system automatically diverts them to format.peterboroughU3A.org.uk. Okay.
Yeah.
What happens if they then bookmark the page that they're on? Will that not bookmark the format dot, so when they go back they'll be putting in the wrong address? Do you see what I mean?
You mean if they bookmark it as their home thing? Well, if they do that, then it will take them to that place, but it won't. You'll probably get away with it, but it's
Okay.
But you hopefully they will bookmark that before that. If they haven't, then it could well be that. It's not the end of the world, but
I've got mine bookmarked as that, Chris. It works fine.
Okay, that's fine.
You've got yours bookmarked with format.
Yes, the test site. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it will work. But
I think it might. I think that might be why it. I have to log in twice. If I change back to the admin site, I have to log in again. So perhaps I ought to change it.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So that, I think that's the first thing to say. Right. Let's have a look at the
Chris,
picture at the top. Sorry.
first thing, why is the display off center?
Why is the display off center?
Yeah, you look at the left and right hand margins, they're different. Because I think you've some reason got a width of 98% and a 6px margin. I wonder whether it really should just make the margins auto, and then it'll be the left and right will be exactly the same. I'll send you a note if you want.
Yes, do.
Yes, do.
Yeah.
You've got a scroll bar on the right there.
I've got
That,
it, yeah.
that looks as though it's making it wider.
Yes, some of it goes by the scroll bar. The width of that. Okay, I don't know how far it goes across.
Yeah, exactly.
No. Right. Yeah. Do send me a note, and I'll have a
will
look. And,
Okay.
Right. Fine. Okay. So if you're not logged in, then this is what you see. You have a banner at the top, which you can have in the same way as the old banner used to work, but obviously now it has to work with the new variable width screen. So if I go in, it not only gets narrower, but the height goes down as well, and if you go wider, it obviously gets taller as well. But you know, I would still suggest you try and make it. This one's I've got here is a bit big. I'd still go with something like 10:1 would probably be the advisable height to have it. But you basically can put what you like in there now. Right. So the menu line, obviously, the basic elements of the menu line are the home page, the activities and information menus. The others are dependent on whether you are logged in or not. So obviously there's a login link as the first item, and if you click on that, it's rather like it was before. You put in the membership number and the password. You've got the I here still to show you that, and then you've got the login. One additional feature here is that there's this item help here, and that's in there so that if you've got somebody who just goes in straight and doesn't know what to do, you can, if you want to, set up in the welcome sheet. If there's a welcome, if you've got anything in the welcome sheet, then it will bring up this help item. If you've got it blank, then it won't come up, so you won't see it. So, but you can, and all it is, it will just display the item. So you know, I've got 3 words in there, but you can have anything you like in there as a help to help them log in. Since doing that, I have noticed that some of you still use Welcome as an item, and if you want to keep using that, then we may have to talk about that. But remember, this is where your welcome will be on this site, not on your admin site anymore, and the welcome doesn't appear on this site anywhere. Right. Okay.
So if you do want a chairman's welcome message as such, you put that into one of the extra pages or something.
Yes, or on your homepage or whatever. Yes. Yep. Whatever you like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the homepage, the first one they see.
So, right, okay, so, actually, I should just log out again and go back to where we were. You've still got the join and the contact us elements here. They will only appear if you have them in your admin site, in the existing sites side menu. If you don't have them there, then they won't appear here. So if you decided you didn't want to use contact us because you're getting too much spam from all sorts of people, then you can turn that off still by turning it off in the admin site. Same with the join. It's up to you whether you allow them to join online or not. Linked in with the website, there's obviously the website creator, which we'll come to in a bit, but basically the home page, there's 2 home pages. There's the logged out home page, and I pinched one of Richard's to sort of just shows what can be put on there, and but you can design these yourself and have whatever you want in there. And then there's a second one when you are logged in, a second home page, which will come in a minute there, which just sort of you can have obviously different items there because it's only people who are logged in will be reading this part. So, okay, so just working our way along the top line. You've got an item here, the next item along, and this will be this different color of yellow. This is if you allow online movements, and if you want people to be able to pay through the website, then if there is an item outstanding for this particular person when they've logged in, this item will appear again, as long as you have the menu item set. If you don't have the menu item set in the main site, then it won't come up. So it's only there if you want it to be there. And what it will do is it will take it in priority sequence. I think it's if there's a membership item, if the membership fee is outstanding, then that will take priority over that, and then so this will say a membership payment. If you and so it will do membership first, then group, then subscription.
So as they pay, let's say they owed all 3. Once they clear the membership payment, it would then move to group payment.
Yes.
And
yes.
then once they clear the group payment, the subscription payment will pop up. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's
right.
And the page for it is very much it comes up is very much what you'd recognise in the current one. There you select the items and you go pay now, and then you get the payment page in exactly the same format as it is at the moment. I can just click on that one and just confirm £50, and you just get the pay and put the card number in. Right, so going across from there to there's the personal membership. Sorry, the personal menu item only appears when you logged in, and it's meant to be the information that's sort of personal to the member who's logged in. So again, you'd have down here, and actually what I was going to do was to use somebody different because it's I'm just going to use 258. Like easier. Right, so in the personal section here, because this particular person has got, as you suggest, membership, group, and payments there, and then they all three will appear. So if they want to make their group payment before their membership payment, they can do it through the personal one rather than do it for the top line one. So again, the system will, obviously sometimes you only use a single Stripe account for all payments to go through, in which case it'll come up. To be honest, I think it says make a payment. I can't confirm that, but I'm pretty certain that's what it says. So you'd only have one item here, make a payment, and then when you click on it, all the outstanding items would come in. You can pay them all together if you want to, if you only use a single Stripe account. But I've got it set up here with 3 Stripe accounts, so that's why it shows the 3 different ones. So again, these three items will only appear if something is due to be paid. Contact a member. That's in this kind of thing. Again, it's something you can switch off or switch on as you want. And then you've got my groups in the same. I think last time we did this, we had my groups showing separately, but showing differently. So now it shows the same format as for groups. So it's just the subset there. My program, which is 3 months ahead, I think. My payments, details of their payments. Link payments, if they are linked to anybody or want to be linked to anybody, that's here, there. Check my details. Same as before. Obviously, it's showing on a wider screen because obviously it doesn't have the side menu there. And then direct debit information, and then change password. Which, if you wanted to do that, you do that from here. So these items above the change password will come out in the sequence in which you decide in the main site. So if you have got your membership payment coming below your group payment, then that's the way it will be shown. It's whatever the is in the main side menu sequence is the sequence that's used here as well. Change password will always appear in here once you're logged in, and obviously you get a little note at the bottom saying, because it doesn't say who you are, who you're logged in as, it's just a note there to say that. So that's the personal column. Activities are the group list always comes top here. Then you've got events, which is the same as in the main site. And monthly meetings, again, same as the and the introductions to these two you can set up using the website creator as well if you want to. It's up to you.
Can I just check something, Chris?
Sure.
I think I asked this before. It looks like the group leaders will be using the new members website because all their icons appear. Is that
Yes.
true? So
Yes.
does that mean the coordinator probably will be at the admin authority, so they'd probably live on the legacy site as well, would they?
The group coordinator is got an authority level, so they will have access to both.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yes. What I forgot to say here on personal is that if you're logged in as somebody with an authority level, you get this one here, admin site, which will take you across to the other site. That is whether the other person who was just a group leader or and a member didn't get that link, so cannot. So even if they go in without, as peterborough-u3a.org.uk, they won't go into the old site. They'll get pulled across into this site here.
So the facilities for a group leader or an admin on the group, a group leader, means that they haven't got the new website builder. They've got the existing mini MCE and the tiny MCE and the
what they'll do is they will go to their group and they get the icons without going to the admin site. They will get their icons on their group page.
So we're not uplifting the page design for the groups themselves.
Yeah, you're thinking about the group description.
Yes.
Yes, as things stand at the moment, they don't have access to the website creator. I don't know whether that's whether there.
No, it's fine. I wasn't sure before. Now it's clear that's the direction you've taken.
Yes.
Because group leaders are a category outside of either straightforward members or higher authorities. So that's
right. They sort of fit in the middle. Yes. Yeah.
I think, Chris, if you were to give group leaders the ability to use web page creator, you're lining up a whole new training exercise for the group leaders.
I'm just not suggesting that at all.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, recipe for chaos, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Fine. Good. Okay. So events, monthly meetings, and the 7-day calendar are all in the activities. Again, they'll come out in the sequence in which the you've got it in the main site. You can also have additional pages here on the activities one, and there's one here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's just a page created, and it will sort itself in amongst the other ones, depending on the sequence you put on in the main site. Right. Okay. So the next column, the next menu is information and document store, links, monthly newsletter, and you can see there's 2 entries here. That I noticed there's a problem here that one's for members and one for non-members, and I suspect it's because the cookie's been set that it's put them both in. So I've got to take that out. Gallery, message forum, documents, forms. Those are if you like, preset items which you can turn on and turn off if you want to, in the same way as you can on the main site, and you can sequence those in the way you want to. You can also have additional items like this one here, which is just a committee page, and this is using what was previously the contact U3A entry on the top line before. You can now include it in one of the web page creator, and you can use it as a block in there and put it in here. So, but all this is just an extra page, and so it's there if you want it, and you can send it. You can send emails from here as well. Obviously in the same way.
Chris, that's got me a bit puzzled. So if I don't know how to frame this question. So in Web Page Creator, okay, on this page you've created a 2-column block. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. In the left-hand block, you put Laura Bipson, blah, 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 blah. How do you get the U3A contact list into the second block?
I will show it to you in a few minutes when I come to the website creator, if I may.
Okay, right, no problem.
It's definitely on the list.
Right, that looked very clever, and I want to know how to do it.
Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so you can put any number of additional pages in here, and the only thing that's slightly different is that if you decide to use any external links, and you've got 10 of them, they come at the bottom, sorted in the sequence you decide, but they come at the bottom. So there's just two here, which so all the other one, all the sort of internal ones come first, and then the external links come at the bottom.
Chris, I've got a question there for you. Where you've got the email in the U3A contact list,
Yeah.
when you create a user, you usually use their personal email address. But if you've got a generic or a job title email or group email, we haven't got the ability to say which email we want to use for which screen, have we?
And on this, it always uses the generic first because because you're talking to the position rather than to the individual.
Right.
So it'll always be the generic if there is one. Otherwise, it will be the personal one. I think if you want to have a talk to the individual directly, then you can, if you're using contact a member, which was there, you can.
Okay.
So if you wanted to contact Alan Locke personally rather than through his group coordinator role, you can do it.
No, don't do that. I'll get too many emails as it is.
Yeah, so you can go that way and sort of so.
Well, Alan, you could use your generic one as your main profile email address. couldn't you?
Oh, don't try to confuse the issue even more.
You could do that as well if you want, if you really wanted to.
That wouldn't work for me though, because I'm a group coordinator on day trips, and we've got an email address of day trips at Peterborough U3A. I'm also IT admin, and I've also got my individual email address.
Right. So the contact one is more important for you, as you need. It depends on what they want to talk about.
Yes.
Yes. Right.
I think what would happen there is we will put into the contacts list, we will put your name in as the day trips organizer, okay, and that will pick up your day trips email, and then we will put you in as the IT admin as a second entry with your IT admin at Peterborough U3A. So I think we can put you in that contacts list twice.
Yeah, that's what I've done. That's what I've done.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got several people in several times.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So
Thank you.
if I can find it, just having a look at a group. So this particular person I've logged in is a group leader, and it wouldn't matter if they were a group coordinator as well. They get the icons at the top, but they don't get the icons for add a group, copy a group, or delete a group, because those are only available to group coordinators, not group leaders. So if but the group coordinator has authority, so they can go across into the other site and do it that way. They can create groups. So you don't have the add a group here or anything like that. What else? I should have stopped before I went there. So yeah, so you still get your group by category or your group by these various items here, pretty much the same as it is in the main site. You can do the colours and all those sorts of things yourself, whatever you want. But so once you're then in a group, everything works. It's meant to work in exactly the same way as it does at the moment, in terms of all the items across here, in terms of downloads, in terms of members, in sending out emails, all the things that a group leader can do at the moment. Oh, that's interesting. It's gone back to the wrong one. There's so the return button's not working there properly. I'll have to look at that. So it's these sort of little things that will come up.
Checkmate,
Check.
wasn't it? That was checkmate, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yes. Right, yeah. So So a lot of it, hopefully, to the member will look the same, but maybe in terms of the sort of box at the bottom, but hopefully the top is going to be much simpler and much easier to operate and much hopefully a little bit more modern looking. Right. Okay. So that's basically the structure. So what does everybody think?
You say more modern looking, Chris. I can almost guarantee that every administrator on this call, when they go to the new website, they will get some of their members to go, "Oh, I like the old website. Why can't we stop with that?" So you will get complaints.
Yes.
You will. They have enough trouble with the old one. Never mind, giving them another one.
Chris, can I ask a basic question?
Yeah.
You keep talking about the main site and this site, and I've noticed when I log in as the administrator, I see how we had the test site set up previously. When I go in on, just straight logged in, I see a very basic site that's not been set up. So what am I looking at? Am I looking at the mobile rendition versus the web rendition, or what's the difference between these two renditions?
Right. Okay. So the idea was this would take over from the mobile site. It's hopefully got all the features that the mobile site had, but more, and it's more sort of flexible and hopefully a little bit more easy to operate. So you've got this site here, which is what we're calling the members site, but you obviously call it what you wish. But and then the admin site is the old site here. This is the site with the top menu and the side menu. The idea here is that it doesn't really change. It's here for the people in charge of the U3A or charge of the website to be able to manipulate it and do all the various things that you can do at the moment, and you do it in there. And so members won't see all this. They will just see hopefully the new format site.
Well, is there a plan to sort of bring what you see from the old site across to the new site, or is that just a manual operation? No. No,
it's the new site operates from exactly the same data as the old site. And when you make any changes, it updates. So it's all working from the same database. So whatever you've got set up in the live site will reflect as soon as when you start doing the testing, for instance, you'll see what you've got in your test site reflected in the main site straight away. You can make changes to it, but it's there. There's not two systems here. It's just one system, one database from which everything works from.
There was something that Alan mentioned in his notes, is that if you rename mobile to new members website or something like that, that will help, because effectively we're losing the mobile version.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, the old
point.
Yeah.
Drop the mobile, just members site.
Yeah, where you used to have a PC site and a mobile site, what's happened now is the mobile site has become the main site for everything, whether you're working on a PC or a mobile, so you don't need a separated mobile site.
And the legacy website becomes the admin website.
Yes,
exactly.
Admin,
Yes.
another details like the
Yes.
Yeah, but the main one is users and leaders principally. The one that's I just forgot what I called it now.
Because
Yes.
presumably you're measuring almost the width of the screen that the person is using, and then the display is based on that, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks better, to be bigger.
Yeah.
Or take the full width of the screen.
It does make web page design a bit more complicated, because you're trying to do it for both potentially a narrow screen and a wider screen, but it's certainly I think the result's better as a result.
The biggest plus I've found with this is that where on the old system, whatever you want to call it, where you had a PC site and a mobile site, if you made any changes to the home page for the PC site, so for the majority of people that use it, possibly, maybe, probably. If you changed it on the PC site, I regularly used to forget to go into mobile homepage, logged in and logged out, and change it on there as well.
Yeah, well, I've just discovered I've done exactly the same, Alan.
Yeah. Whereas with this, the way we're going to be functioning with the new website format, you change it in one place, it changes it for the mobile users and the PC users.
Yes, with one exception.
The
Oh,
logged in,
hello.
home logged in and logged out page.
The home page is at the moment, and there's no reason why we shouldn't change this, but at the moment, the home page on the admin site is different from the home page on the members site.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice if you could actually make them the same, Chris, because I was just doing that earlier.
Hey?
Do you think
That's
you would?
Yeah, because otherwise you've got to maintain the original home site, the original home logged in page, and the new one.
Yes, but well, it's easy to do. So if that's what we want, that's great. The only reason I did it separately was I thought now that the home page for the admin site is going to be much more administration.
Yeah.
It's going to be, you're going to be talking to the committee and the people with authority, and you're not bothered about having something pretty. And
No,
sort of-
that's right. I was just going
I've just tweaked what you're talking about. Yes, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We can go either way.
Well, I was going to just blanket and put some text in, in the admin site.
Well,
Yeah,
and if you create the page from the website creator, you can just create the page once and just load it twice. You load it into the two.
Oh, you can load it into the original home page then.
Yes, you can.
Oh, right.
You can load it wherever you want. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Okay. So
Chris, can I, before you move away from the menus,
yes.
can I ask my 2 questions?
Please do.
Okay. What I wanted to know is that, yes, it's very good. We've got activities and information. Let's say we wanted something like, I don't know, U3A trust information, an extra line, an extra item on the top. Are we allowed to do that, or is that not an option?
No, but you can have an extra item in your submenu. You've got 20 additional pages which you can populate with anything you like. So you can design your page for trust information if you like, and then you can stick it in your information submenu.
So can you, for instance, can you have another menu title by the side of information and activities?
No.
Or something else?
No. Well, no, you can't. No, you've got the idea was to try and keep this structure as simple as possible, and so that if you want to have an item here, you can just put an item here at the top there, which can be trust information, and you can then have a web page you can design in any way you like, and it's there for you to use.
Right.
So the idea is at the moment anyway to not to put any other items on there.
Right. And can you have like a submenu, say links? You've got links there.
Yep.
Can you have a little arrow and you click it and you got other choices?
You mean a sub menu?
Yeah, like you can now on the admin site.
No, because you're well, not at the moment. Again, it's not impossible, but in terms of it just adds to the complexity of it.
Chris, I don't think that's usual in that type of drop-down menu, is it?
Yeah, it is possible, but it does get complicated, and it would just sit off to the side. And I just wonder why you would, Alan.
Right.
I will admit, Chris, that I did discover whilst playing with our test site that you could let's say we use the information as the example, because you've got 20 extra pages. I went berserk with the extra pages, and I created extra pages for this, that, and the other. Put them all in information, and that drop down when you hover over information shot off the bottom of the screen. So sub-menus will get over that, sub-menus will get over that. But you do need to be careful. If you put an awful lot of extra pages in there, you can shoot the menu system off the bottom of your screen.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest the best way is to try this and see. And if you're getting in, if there is sort of reasons come up that maybe it'd be worthwhile adding another one or whatever it is, then do so. But the problem is that if you start getting to you jump into the hamburger one, and you'd have to jump into it earlier if you had more information across the screen.
Yeah.
I think it's better to try and have the full screen if you can, but that's the answer. But nothing's off the table, Alan. Alan S. That is, but we can try without it for the time being. I think I'd like to do that.
As when I was at work, Alan, we had a couple of developers, and their stock phrase was, "Nothing is impossible, but some things just take a little more time."
Indeed, yes.
If you had an additional page, would you not group, say, 5 or 6 items together and then link to that one page, and then have that as like a subheading additional page?
Create your own sub-menu. Yes.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
You definitely can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, because you don't need to show it. You can create it, but you don't need to show it in the menu system. You can do it inside a page. Yeah.
Chris, if you just click on information for a moment, please. I just want to have a right. So where you've got your committee and then document store, you've got a fairly big gap there. Is that something that could be tightened up by a pixel or two, and then that would allow you to see more without dropping off the page?
We have already done that, actually, because Alan raised the point before, and it was even larger, the gap, so we haven't reduced it. Yeah, the only thing is because it did have the gap in because of fingers, if you like, fingers on screens rather than a mouse, where you can be more precise. That's why it was sort of left with the bigger gap.
That's fine. No, if there's a rationale for it, that's fine.
There's also the issue of people with visual impairment.
Yeah.
If you start squashing things up, and they're harder to.
Yeah.
If you put them too close together, anyone with some fighter stance that's using a blooming tablet, they're going to be clicking the wrong thing every single time.
I think they would anyway.
Yeah.
That's your excuse for getting into dodgy websites, I suppose.
Just one more on say the home.
Yes.
Home. Let's say I was happy with the public. I'm not. Let's say I was happy with the public page as it is now. Can I copy the code and paste it into what it's actually called mobile homepage at the moment? And would it work with the new site?
Yes. Yes, it would.
And later on, I could tweak it to have colors and all whatever I wanted, etc. It gets started, you know.
Yes, obviously, if you haven't created it using the creator, which is what I think you're saying, you've already created it before. If you did move it across, you could copy it across, but you'd only have it in a single column.
Right.
So you wouldn't be using the best of the website creator. So I would suggest not. If yes, you can, but it's not it's easy to do, but you may want to start from scratch. I would have thought maybe.
On the admin page, on the systems information, when you've got all the pages that you can update, all the additional pages and the home page, is it a bad practice to actually update it from the admin page rather than do it from the new pages? Understand what I mean?
You're talking about the we can do it.
You can go into the menu. You can on here.
Yes.
You can go into an additional page and change
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So we've got the
practice or avoid it.
yeah, we've got. Well, you can do it. I mean, it's up to you, really. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't think it's.
I mean, if you wanted to go into the HTML and just do something a bit.
Yeah, well, that's right. You've got that option as well. You've got the option to use the tools here on the source code if you want to. You've even got the option of this. There's a non-tiny element where you can go into these pages, and because tiny sometimes takes control, and you can bypass that by using the non-tiny one and change the HTML absolutely native without any intermediate changes. So you can do any of those you want, really. I mean, But if you haven't originally created it in the website creator, you can't then go back and change it in the website creator. It starts there and puts it across to this point here. But there's nothing to stop you creating it in the website creator and then changing it yourself when you get to this point. So everything you've got access to all of it if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was that asked the question, but I did find a few instances where in our test site when we were playing, I created things in Web Page Creator, but in Web Page Creator, I couldn't get it to do exactly what I wanted it to do. So I was then kicking across to here and getting the page up that Chris has got at the moment and doing the HTML stuff from this point.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
From
yeah,
there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But that does go through the TinyMCE, and so TinyMCE will interfere and sometimes gets in the way.
Yeah.
So you could use an alternative to TinyMCE if you had one and you're used to it. Like
well, there is one. There is one already in the system. It's called non-tiny. I can see if there is an item on this side menu where you can go in, and I think there's probably about 30 pages that you can change and update absolutely without going through TinyMCE if you need to.
All right. Okay.
But be careful because you can mess the whole page up if you know there's no rules. So if you break the rules, you might end up with a mess. But
so back up first.
You won't. No. Sorry, it's only you'll only mess up the display that comes out the other end. You know, you won't cause any damage to anything else. It would just, but you might end up with something that looks a bit weird.
Yeah.
If you don't get all the divs and all those sorts of things in the right place.
And one more question. We've got a lady who uses Publisher a lot for the newsletter, and we've discovered you can, when you do a Publisher file, you can save it as HTML.
Yes.
Could she send it me and I put that as web page 6 or whatever, and it'll work?
If you're doing those and it's already been structured, you won't want to structure it again, I guess. It's already been structured in things. So it becomes this, so you put it in as probably the safest place would be to put it in the non-tiny page and copy it direct. If it's already validated HTML, then you shouldn't have any problems in terms of having things wrong, and therefore that might be the best way of doing it. So TinyMCE doesn't interfere with it in the way.
Right. So you don't put it in as text and pictures. You put it into the code editor.
You put it into, yes, but obviously in terms of pictures, you're going to have to load the pictures up into, so you can't load pictures in, you have to load references to pictures. HTML never contains pictures. All it does is contains a reference to where that picture is held. So it would probably have to change those.
And Alan, I'm quite prepared to be shot down here by other members of this call, but my understanding is that MS Publisher is dying a death.
Yes, yeah, I'm reading about that. Because I have an Office 365 license years ago, and I just renew it each year, I keep Publisher. If I was going to Currys and buy one, I wouldn't get Publisher anymore.
Well, our newsletter person is, she's at the moment, she's moving away from using Publisher.
Right. Has she found one that's similar?
Well, she's just going to create everything in Word and publish it as a PDF.
All right. Okay. Best of luck with that one.
Publisher is available on current 365 licenses.
No, I don't think so.
Yes,
no.
Yes, it is. I've just installed it.
Yeah, but the understanding is that slowly Publisher is dying a death. They're moving away from it. Microsoft is moving away from Publisher. That's as I understand it. I'm prepared to be shot down, mate.
No, you're right. They are. I think it's next year it goes. But Screebus and such like is an alternative.
Screebus, yes.
Right. Okay. So what I wanted to just again fairly quickly do is just to go through Website Creator and just put together a very simple page just to show everybody. Hopefully, you've all had a play with it anyway. But let's just very simply do this. And say,
Chris, can you just say how did you get to this website creator page, please?
in your test system, in your administrator, you should have, well, I can't remember where it's put, but you should have an item which says website creator.
No, I
It's not-
don't.
It's non-tiny.
I can't find it anywhere.
Okay.
So far.
Leave it with me, and I'll talk to you about it.
I'm talking away to myself here. I've been mic turned off. Chris, are you now adding that web page creator as a default item to administrator, or have you got to add it yourself? Because I added it myself.
I added it when I set up. I thought I'd added it to every one of the test systems when I put the new version up.
Oh, right, okay.
So
it's not in my version.
yeah.
It's not on ours either, Porthmadog.
Say again, sorry.
It wasn't in Porthmadog either. We didn't have it as a default.
Oh, okay. Right, fine. Okay, well, maybe I didn't want to do what I thought I did then. Okay, so right.
Chris, just one question about that. You can only you can't put two web creator creations in one page, can you?
No, but you can have two blocks.
How do you add another block?
Let me just deal with this, and then I'll come back to it. Yeah. Right. So if you haven't got website creator, you should find it in here. Oh, you can't see it. Okay. No. In the drop down here, it's at the bottom, I think. Yes, it's the bottom entry in the drop down. So you just add it to your, well, I would suggest you add it to your administrator, but you can add it to wherever you want to.
Okay, we'll have another look for it.
Okay. Right. Okay. Sorry, I thought I had, but maybe I hadn't. Right. Okay. Let's just go through it. Oh, there we go. Here's that one.
So I've discovered it, Chris. Thanks. I didn't notice.
Right. Okay. So I've created a web page entry called test page, and it's come up here. It says it's got no items in there at the moment, which I haven't put any in. We'll come back to this in a minute. We'll just decide where we use that. We can view it, except we can't because there's nothing there to see at the moment. And you can delete it and you can change the name. So there's not much here at the other end. So when you're ready to actually create a web page, once you've got here, you click on test page or whatever the link is. And now you can create a number of blocks. And blocks contain horizontal information. So you can have as many blocks as you like within one page. So let's just assume that we'll call it top item. The sequence number will define the sequence in which the blocks appear on the web page. So we'll start off with 5. So that's now created us to start with a single block page at the moment. But right, so when you to update it, you click on update block detail, and I don't know whether this is irritating or not, but what I did was to set it up with lots of default information. So the default information sets up a block which looks like that. So it has a main heading, each column has a heading, and then there are 3 types of blocks. There's a block which is an image which with text wrapped around it. You've got a completely text image here, sorry, text block here, and then you've got an image which takes up the whole of the block. So that's what this default information at the top here achieves, if you like. So, so I don't know whether or not you would like it with that default information and work away from that, or whether you would like a completely blank one. And maybe you can't say today. Maybe it's when you have a play, you might find that you like one way or the other. At the moment, this is how it's set up. So we talked about a main heading, which we put in here. You decide how many blocks you want. You can have 1, 2, or 3 blocks. And this one is set up for 3. And then you decide the width of how wide you want it. Now, I've got this set up at 33, 33. But when I did, Richard discovered that if you do that, it's the last one up at 34, and it's slightly different. And so if you are making 3 identical ones, then make sure it's so you can put two places of decimals to make it 33.33. So that will give you 3 even-sized blocks. So then block number 1 is with a grey background, and you can put information in here. This is going to be your heading there. This is where you decide whether you have text, image, or both. So let's just set up here one with both. So it's the first thing it's asking is select the image. Now the images are the images that are inside the your images in the system. So the image, so I've got 93 images or something here. So I'm going to pick image 82.
Very quickly, Chris, we don't see that drop down, but in your image library, each image has now got the image number as well.
Yes, exactly. The image library has got that image number, that number there, so you can go up and down there and see which one to reference. Thank you. Yeah. Right. Okay. You've got various options for images. Once you've got here, you can decide. So, if you take an option where you've got both an image and text in the same block, then the image.
Sorry, do you mean column?
Yes, sorry. Yes.
You've created a block of 3 columns.
Indeed.
You're now working on column 1, aren't you?
Thanks, Tim. Yes, that's correct. Yes, yeah, got to get the terminology right. Yes. So we're in column 1 of block 1, if you like. So yes. So you've got your. So if you include an image, then the image will take up, I think, 40% of the column width, and then it will wrap the text around the rest of it. And we'll see in a minute what it looks like. Right, so you've got you can round off the image if you want to. Put corners in. You can put a shadow in there if you want to, and you can make by default it will float left. So in other words, the image will appear on the left-hand side of the column, but if you click on the right, it'll appear on the right. And then you can decide whether you have a link. So the image itself becomes a link to somewhere else. So I'll leave that in. I've just got the BBC as a link here. So if you click on the link, it will go to the BBC website. Then you've got the text, which is a tiny MCE box which you've got, and you can edit as you want to. You can change the color, change the size, change the paragraphs. You can change anything you want. You can put links in there. It says you can put images in there, but yeah, in theory you can put images in, but you have to put obviously you'll have to put a reference to where those images are held, but you can do it if you want to. Then at the bottom you decide whether or not what the background color is. Default column 1 set to blue and the text color set to white. You can set text black or white, and then you can have any color you like as your background. Be careful not to have text color and background color of white, which I did earlier on today, and I couldn't find it at all.
Chris, if your next column was an image, how could you make that text that you've got in the first column center on the image? Because obviously the image will be the whatever size it is. So if you put any text in, it always appears at the top. The text appears at the top rather than halfway down the image. There's no way of centering the text vertically.
When you say centering the text,
Well, put it in vertically. I mean, you can center it horizontally, but how would you center it within the block? It's vertically.
Well, the trouble is you can't, because you've now got this variable width screen. That so the column itself will you know, you may.
No, I mean you can't get white space above the text.
Yeah, it can. Just hit return a few times.
Well, it don't work.
We'll either try shift and return, Neil. I found that sometimes makes a difference.
If you do that, it still appears at the top.
Well, if you
I'd have to do the source code, yeah.
If you can, if I put this up, I bet if I put this in, it'll appear. It'll go down. Just put a space between they've got paragraphs.
Right. So you get a white space.
Yeah.
Right.
A white space there.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay. So so that's a mixed one. Then secondly, you've got text, which is just a simple one, and basically just the text things that we've done up to now. So there's nothing really. It's just the same as the one above there. And the third one is an image, which I tell you what, I'll just only have two to start with, just to make life a little bit easier, and just make that. So now I've just changed the number of. I've turned off one of the columns, so it's disappeared. The third one, so I've only got two columns, and I've said the width of the first one is 60%. So by default, the second one becomes 40%. So right, so if I update that, so it's now showing down at the bottom. After you do update, it shows you what it looks like. So if I tell you what, if I just change this.
Why does it show you column 3 details if you've only got 2 columns?
It's just it's the heading showing. Well, I've left it in because I thought it was easier. So if you change it back to 3 again, it will appear underneath it. It's just I probably could take it out.
It says column 3 details, but because there's no details there is no column 3.
There is no yes. So if you only have one, then you have column 2 details and column 3 both appearing there. But there's no real reason they could go out, I suppose. Yeah.
I got some random. I did a lot of creating of pages with 3 to 1 columns.
Yeah.
When I changed the number of columns, particularly when I reduced them from 3 to 2 or 2 to 1, I frequently got a message coming up saying that the website couldn't process it, and I got kicked out, and I had to log in again.
Right. Okay. You perhaps you could take offline. You could take me through that then, if you're getting it.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you'd be interested to know what you did to cause that. So
was that some time ago? Because when I was playing with it some time ago, a few weeks ago, I kept getting logged out.
It was a day or 2 ago.
All right. Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So if you can send me some information, or we can talk about it. So right. Okay. So
the thing that Neil raised just now about the being able to space the columns of that, as you're looking at that, the display of what your block is going to look like, you can see that the blue block is deeper than the orange block. Yeah. And I must admit, I did a lot of playing around and found that shift and return to center just the text, you could get the blocks to be the same size, but it took an awful lot of mucking about.
But you never do that, because as soon as you've got the different width screen to somebody else, it'll be different. Because
oh right, okay.
It'll stretch this, unless you're 50-50, you might get away with it. But then if you've got an image in there, everything's going to change as you expand and contract it.
Okay, so if the blocks in that preview that you've got at the bottom, if the blocks are a different depth, so top to bottom,
yeah,
okay, will they not on the actual, on the actual page, will they not come out as a different depth on the page?
Yeah, they will. Hang on, well, let's do it and see what happens. And so I'll just make sure I've updated that. Right, let's go up. So hit return, takes it out. So I've got this block. So if I go back to, so just for the and then load this web page in. So this is where you make that page you've just created. You can view what it looks like there, and what that does is open a new tab, which it opens up that tab, and so it's still left you exactly the same position as you were, except it's opened a new tab. So you've got the new. That's how it's going to look. You say, well, yeah, okay, well that's all right. I'll accept that. Just by exiting the tab, it goes back to. So, okay. So when you're ready to do it, I'll put it in additional page 4. Right. So now I've set up additional page 4 with that information. So if I now go to the side menu and turn on additional page 4. So you can see that test page is now on the admin site has now appeared. So it's there. But that's not going to be the same, because when we go across to the members site, test page, right, so.
And that's what I was saying about, Chris. You end up with a
You're always going to end up with differently, depending on how people are watching it, aren't they? So it's.
Right. Is there any screen width where the depth of those two blocks, columns, I should say, ends up being the same? No, you see, they're always that little bit different, and depending on the size of the page, you can end up with big acreages of white space.
I think there is either something in HTML or CSS that will make the two columns the same depth. I'm sure I've stumbled across it a while ago, and I'm sure there is something.
That'd be
right. When you're looking at set outs of pages, this is one. You're right. This is one of the things that does throw up, but I think there is something.
If you find it, that'd be handy to know.
Yeah, okay, yes. I will.
The issue here is caused because of the background colours. If you were working on a white background, you wouldn't have this problem at all, because it would all just appear. But because it got background colour, or if you have background colour in one and not on the other, you'd probably get away with it. It's because you've got two different background colours. But I'll also have a look at that, Tim, and see if that's something that we can sort of standardise the height, basically, isn't it?
Mm. I mean, I think your idea of having not having a coloured background probably is the way forward, because it just gets away with that, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I know if you're doing tables in the old style, you can set the cell depth effectively, the length of the cell. So maybe it's the same.
Yeah, and so you might end up doing that. You might end up getting a. You'd have to then decide with what to do with the overflow and things like that. So anyway, I'll have a little look and see if there's something we can do easily to get it.
Chris, can I ask a small admin question?
Sure.
If you go back to your list of the creator pages, you can't resequence them, can you? There's an option to resequence the blocks.
Yeah, you can.
Can you resequence pages? How does that work?
Yeah. So you-
Because you can't edit the sequence number that you created there.
yeah, you can. So if we just add another one and call it
Well, that's what it was on
bottom block. Bottom,
the block.
yeah. So we'll call
That's
it
the
bottom.
block, not the pages, the actual pages.
Pages.
Yeah.
So where are you talking about then? You're not.
Back a page where you have a list of all the web creator pages. They have a sequence number. That's it.
Yeah.
You can't reorder them within there.
Why would you want to?
Well, only because it depends on what order you created them, I suppose.
No, they come out in alphabetical sequence.
But when you create a new page,
I just created test page and it came out second bottom.
oh, alphabetical, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can see that now. Yes, okay.
So the answer to that then will be give the name of your page, started off with 1 dot, then the next one 2 dot, 3 dot, and then you could change those numbers.
Yep, if you wanted to, yes. You know, you're not going to have that many items on here, I wouldn't have thought.
That's a lot of faffing about though.
Well, you
Yeah.
could have 10 plus 20, or approximately about 30, couldn't you?
You could, but I suspect probably most people will have 5 or 6, you know, or 7 or 8. But anyway, yeah, fine.
So, small admin point, thank you.
Yes, yeah. Right, okay. So so that's the website creator. One of the things I need to just mention are let's go back to this test page again. We'll just
Could you briefly demonstrate the ticker tape?
Yes, good. I was going to do that. That's right. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make a new page, and we'll just make. We'll just make it one. We'll call it a text only. We'll just take that out. We don't need that. And we'll make this the ticker tape. We'll make it black with just simply with a white background. Right. So notice it's left that. Okay.
You didn't check ticker tape.
I was just in the. I have now. Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay. So now if I return and just return again. Test page update number 4. Okay, so we can go back into the members site. So the thing about the ticker tape is that it does go at a fixed amount of seconds to take the whole thing across.
Yeah.
And so if you use, so there are 3 different settings that if you're going to use a lot of text, then you want it to go at a different speed or a different timing to the other one. So you've got, if you use, you can use, if you set the ticker tape up in column 1, you get a different speed to column 2 to column 3. So if you put the same text in for the 3, I'll do it just.
On my system, I've tried the ticker tape. I did exactly as you've just done, and it doesn't scroll. Now, is that because I haven't got Tiny MCE set up properly?
Right. So your ticker tape didn't work, you're saying?
I get all the text, but it doesn't scroll across the page.
But are you looking at it when you publish the page? Because you can only see it scrolling when it's live.
Yes.
Not when you've drafted it.
That may be the problem.
Yeah, you'll see it as if you're looking at it when you've drafted it, you'll just see it as a block of text in the position where you want it. You've actually got to view it as a live page.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you.
Right. Yes. So let's just go back to it.
That thing about having columns or columns in a block the same height, It's a CSS setting.
Okay. Try and do things too quickly. Yeah, I've got to try and I've got to get rid of those top things. I've left them in there, but let's see if it just does it for the. See if I can demonstrate the issue. That's all right. Right. Come on. So, well, you notice that I don't know whether you have noticed that once you, if you load it into the live system and say, oh damn, I've done it into the wrong one, it comes up this update complete, but you've got an undo here. If you click on it, it will undo it, and so you can do it on the right one. But once you've obviously changed the page, then you can't undo it anymore. So it's there for a while to do as a sort of a backstop. Right. Okay. Oh, good. There we go. So although I put the same data in both, they're going at different speeds. So 1, 2, and 3 will go at different speed. I'll have to get rid of this yellow thing, which I.
So 1 is slow, 2 is medium, and 3 is quick.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, 2 is. Oh, I don't know which way round we did them. Oh, I think that, yes, I think the third one must be quick, mustn't it? Yeah, because I left the black.
It's overtaking.
No, I can't remember which way round I had it now. But a little bit of an experiment will resolve it.
I would have thought 1 slow, 2 medium, and 3 quick would have been the obvious thing.
I agree. But of course, if you then change the length of the text, it will change the speed of it as well, because it's a time
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
I
Well, I mean, right, sorry, I don't. Why didn't you just make the first column the ticker tape without? Why make it? It's merely to demonstrate that they're all different speeds, is it?
That's all I was trying to do. Yes.
Yeah, must admit,
Trying to do it all a bit fast, and yes.
I tend to use. Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of ticker tapes running on my site at the moment, and I must admit they seem to be going at a reasonable speed.
Right. So maybe you can play around with it and slow it down.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, by the way, with a ticker, when you create the ticker, you create the text in tiny MCE. If you make some of the text a link to another page, whatever, okay, when you hover over the ticker, the text that you made a link, you can click on that text to take you elsewhere.
Yeah, if you can catch it.
Well, yeah, if it's going across at 1,000 miles an hour, it's a case of go on, get it, hit it.
Yeah, and you can win 500 quid if you hit this link. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a competition, couldn't it?
So I think there's quite a lot of data in these, and therefore they're going across relatively fast. And so if you've got less data, they'll go across slower. The speed will because it's a timing thing. It takes 20 seconds to do the thing. So if you've only got 5 words, then the 5 words will take a lot longer to get across.
If you want to read it, just put the mouse over the ticker.
Yeah, that's right. It stops. Yes. Yeah.
And I've now got it live, thanks, Tim.
Great.
Good. Okay, so let me just show some of the other things which I said I'd show. You talked at the start about the contact page and the message snippets and things like that, which actually no, we didn't look at the message snippets. I'll have a look in a minute. But if I go into here again, right? If you want to include the which one were you talking about? You were talking about the contact one, weren't you, Alan?
Yes, yes.
It's a template.
You keep sliding things into that template that I don't know about. Right, okay.
So that template there, put there. will come out. So you have that contacts block in there, and once it's there, once it gets into, so for the contacts one, that is only available in additional web pages. You could also have the message snippets. And that is available on the home page as well as the home logged in page, as well as the additional pages. So if we go back to return and go back to the website.
Chris, what does the sequence number mean? I see you've got 3 at 0 and 1 at 5. So what effect does it have?
It's just the sequence in which the I shouldn't have 3 zeros because obviously it's random then. So I should actually have numbered the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the sequence. The blocks will come out one below the other. So if you put you know, one that's 99, it'll go at the bottom.
Got you. Okay.
Right. Where was I going? I was going to. Well, that's the contacts one, which is only available in the thing, and that's why you get this. You know, I'm not quite sure whether or not the, you know, I've got 2 headings in here and this sort of thing. So this might need tidying up about exactly what's put in here. So have a look at it and see what you think. Yeah. And then if you go into the home page, you've got the snippets. I don't know whether anybody will want that, but it was the, you know, what used to be on the the bottom of the side menu. This
I think it's quite useful because it does show activity for people before they've logged in. So we would retain it.
I was just thinking that looks quite useful. I didn't know it was there, but
I mean, I tend to use a table. I put a table into our home page, and that's the first thing anybody visitor comes to. They see a table with events, months, and everything else. In addition to now, thanks, Alan, the calendar, which is at the bottom of the page. But really, the thing at the table at the top is just immediate things that people can see.
Can I just check something? I've only ever used templates before for mail merge, effectively for. So these 2 you've just talked about, are there other message blocks that have been available before in web design in pages?
Are there other ones you said?
Yeah, other templates.
Yeah, the other templates are buttons.
I've never used those. Okay.
So instead of having to create your own HTML buttons, you can use these. So there is a so if we go back to into the admin site, there's a new systems details called buttons. Sounds like Cinderella. There we go. Thanks.
There's an option called pumpkin. That's fine.
Yeah. So you can create your buttons here, and then you can reference them. So you can set up. You just name it whatever you want. I just named it the color of it. So you can name it whatever you want. You can have a link in it if you want. You can have the information. The only thing which I wonder about is whether or not the text is too small for the size of the button, and maybe there needs to be less padding around it, and therefore the text is larger. But other than that, you can do what you like with these buttons, and then you can just, and once you've used them, you can get it. You can. It's not fixed in that you can't change this one and use it again for something else. Once you've included it in a web page, it stays in there forever, and then you can then change these buttons to be something else. So,
I think you're right, Chris. I think the text does need to be bigger and black in some cases. And also, could we have a longer button?
Well, the button will go to the length of the text you put in it. So if you put in a 5-word item in there, it will put 5 words into the button.
As you can see from the difference there between ITV and risk assessments. ITV is very short, little button. Risk assessments very long, big button.
Right. So it wasn't made a big button to start with. It made itself as you put the text in.
So I've just made that even longer. I don't know what to do. There you go.
Yes.
It's made it even longer.
Right. Okay. So
So
there's no...
if you put some spaces before, for example, button, when you were typing in button, would that then make that a longer button?
You mean you want to put more padding around it, in effect?
Yeah, so they're all the same size, for example, if you wanted that.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens. No, doesn't look as though it's
because in a sense, space is ignored by HTML and everything else.
Yeah.
You have to actually, in a sense, physically. Was it NBS? Was it
NBSP.
Yeah.
Semicolon. I don't know. Let's have a look, see what it does. Yes, it does work then.
I like that better, Alan.
Nothing
No,
to do with me.
No, I mean on the one that you've created, we've got different sized buttons, haven't we?
Yes.
Sorry, I see. Yeah.
I think you're right, Chris, about the text size. I can see people not being able to read that.
Yeah. Yes. No, I agree. I think that would be worthwhile doing.
Yeah. And now we know we can make it bigger as well. You know, then that solves the problem of fitting the text in, doesn't it? You just go bigger as we type it.
Yeah.
Chris, you just showed us buttons, but the question I asked was about the 2 new templates, which was the adding the contacts and the message items into a block.
Yeah.
Now, all the other templates you can use at the moment are single fields from the database, effectively mail merge fields. So you just added these.
What do you mean? Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, you're talking about things like people's names and things.
Yes. So the 2 ones you showed us just now, the message forum snippets and the contacts, are those new for the new design, or are there other?
No, that's there at the moment. There aren't any other templates there. The only ones you've got are the buttons, which we just looked at. In other words, there's the 10 buttons plus the message block and the contacts block.
Okay.
I don't think you probably have somebody. What other information would you put in in somebody's homepage? Would you put sort of welcome?
I'm referring to the templates.
Yes.
Used in bulk email.
Bulk emails, yes. Yeah. So more you would use something like you put something at the top, or welcome Joe, or something like that. And when you good to see you.
The templates tend to be page specific, aren't they, Chris? As far as I understand it. So a template that was in the the welcome email for a new member. Those templates aren't necessarily the same as in.
No, they're not.
You owe us money.
Yes, it's not that the same template produces a different result. There are just different selection of templates against different emails.
Yeah, different pages. Yeah. Emails, whatever.
Yeah. But it's only ever put in emails at the moment. It's not put anywhere else, I don't think. So okay, so that's a sort of run round. So what's people's thoughts on it, and sort of timescales, or whether they want to have it soon or want to test it more, or what's the feeling?
I think I'm going to delay. I mean, I haven't had a chance to play with this yet, so I think for us, I'm going to leave our live system as it is for the time being, because you're right. Somebody said earlier, I made a little change to it yonks ago, and automatically got an email from somebody. When I was at work, why, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And you're thinking, oh. So yes, I'm not going to rush to change the pages yet.
Okay.
I think there is the choice though, isn't there, Chris? You could make this a live function within the site, your live site. Okay, you could make it a function within your live site, but if you don't turn on the switch for mobile site, the new site doesn't appear. You stop on the old site, isn't that right?
The new stuff does appear on the old site, yes. Yeah. So if you're talking about the web creator, if you use that to create a page, would it appear on the old site? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Oh, does it? Oh, right. Okay, because that was what I was thinking about doing. I was thinking we would leave the mobile site switch turned off, create the new site, then just hit that mobile switch, turn it on, and the whole thing would change in one day.
Right.
So we could create in background ready for the big changeover, and then say, right, we're changing on the, I don't know, the 3rd of June, and then hit the button on the 3rd of June, and the whole site would just change.
So what are you thinking would change? I mean, you've got the two home pages, and they're separate at the moment. So you could start on the live site. You could be setting up the.
I think it's on the live site. That's the point. It's all live. So he's changed to 14.3, but if you don't have the mobile site on, would you still retain the old look of the website? I think that's what you mean, is it, Alan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're changing all the additional pages, they're automatically being thrown into the current live site.
You can create those additional pages now, and don't show them on the old website, and you show them as draft on the old website, so nobody else sees them except the administrator is setting them up. So you can go through and create lots and lots of additional pages, and still be and view them on the old site, but nobody else will view them except yourself.
Right. Okay.
So what? So if you were to update, oh, I see. If I put on my live site, if I leave the mobile site switched off, I can do what I like, which I would have done on the test site, but nobody can see it other than me.
That's right. So
whereas I was thinking of having a play with the test site and debugging, and then say to people, well, look, you can have a look at, this is what I've done on the test site, and keep them away from change on the live site. What do you think of this? Because
you've got the additional pages 8 to 20. Sorry, the 8 web pages up, which go from 13 to 20, which aren't in. So you won't be using those at the moment. You can use those to create pages, and then view them in draft, if you like, and as you say, nobody else will see them.
But if, let's say, for instance, if I did go on my live site, create some pages, switch mobile site on to let people see the new pages, and then if I then switched it off, then they wouldn't see them.
That's right.
Ah.
Switch it on and off.
Even better. Yeah.
But if you've got that mobile site switched to off, Chris, does that mean if you're still operating on the old site that people using a mobile phone won't get the hamburger menu?
No, that's right. This is a replacement for the mobile. So the mobile site goes.
Frankly, who would look at this website on a mobile phone unless they've got really good eyesight and a humongous sized phone?
I could use it. Yeah, all right.
I do use it, and quite a few of our members use it on a mobile phone.
God, the smallest I go to is an iPad, and that's.
Should have gone to Specsavers.
No, I need a bigger iPad. Trying to convince my wife.
One thing you do need to know is that group leaders' icons don't work on the hamburger menu. So,
unless you turn the mobile phone into landscape.
well, then you go back to the other thing, and it views them. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, if you view your phone a landscape, you're fine.
Yes. I think, Chris, given what you've said, the snag with staying on the test site only is we want to put a lot of images in. And I've got two helpers who were here earlier on
Right.
to help me make better pages. I'd sooner do it on the real site because
Yes.
I've got to put them all images in twice. And I want to give them permission to put images in themselves as well.
That's
So
fine. Yes.
if
So
we want to use the live site, okay, we can switch it on and off like you're talking about if necessary. We want to be working on the live site rather than the test site.
Okay. So it sounds as though what you really want, you'd like the old mobile site to remain in 14.3 for a while, but so if you put up 14.3, you've got a switch which switches between the old mobile site and the new mobile site in effect.
Yes. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you would retain the original home logged in page rather than the what currently is the mobile.
Yeah, well, that's there anyway. That at the moment that's how it stays.
Right.
Yeah.
So you still have the logged in page. It's those are always going to be different.
Yeah. If you're going for two switches, Chris, leave the one that is mobile site as named as mobile site. But if you're creating another switch, call that one new format or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Do these things, does that mean we have to go to 14.3 on the live site?
Yeah, I think that's the first step to take is to go to 14.3. Then you can start generating stuff, and then when you want to, you can then switch over between the mobile site to the new mobile site, if you like.
Yes.
Okay.
Or just new format, Chris, because it's not specifically the mobile site, is it?
No, it's not. It's the removal of the mobile site and replacement with the members site.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're changing
Yeah,
the
I
format.
think
as
members
such.
site.
Indeed, that's right.
Members site's a far better word for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Or
Fine.
new members site.
But new members are different to members, aren't they?
Yeah.
You want members' new site.
Yeah.
New.
Yes.
Or new members new site.
Or new members, new site format, new site format.
If I wasn't confused before that, I am now. I may need to contact you offline, Chris, just to clarify exactly what needs to be done.
Yes, fine. Okay.
Because
talk.
I'll be honest, I'm just a little bit confused now between what we can do and what we can't do.
Right. Okay.
And I'll need to speak to Mary because she's going to be doing it.
Yes, fine. I will. Yeah, we'll have a chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I was going to have a look at your test system anyway.
Yes, please.
So I'll give you a call in the next day or so. So, but generally, everybody's happy.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy. I'm just concerned about the changeover. That was all.
Yeah. Well, I think I think yeah, I can see it's we want to take it slowly. I agree because
It would be nice to be able to create the content for the new site invisibly to the members, and then literally just to be able to go, right, okay, turn it on
the live site, you mean, Alan?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, creating visibly while retaining the old site.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
when you've got the new content sorted, just click a button and the old site disappears, the new site kicks in.
Okay. I'll try and sort of work out how we can achieve that.
Yeah,
I
if it's
think-
possible.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. Good. Right. Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Chris. Bye.
Thank you.